I guess nothing was so deviated as the concept of the physical actions method. So, what is really behind this one of few methods in acting? Let's start with the statement it's impossible to be on the stage doing nothing without reference to different acting schools, principles, aesthetics, genres, etc. To experience something means to feel. To feel means to do, to be able to. Action enriches every single artistic sort of actor several hundredfold. Action is the trained actor's natural way of existence on the stage. The only way of knowing oneself is the way of action, of active influence upon oneself's nature and interaction with the external environment. Only following this path an individual can truly know oneself, taking actions in life and estimating them. Officially, the method of physical actions was born circa 1930. But even in the 20s, Stanislavski was rehearsing on the basis of action. The new approach to a role from the sidelines of action's physical nature that later got the conditional name the method of physical actions, first theoretically manifested itself in the directorial plan of Othello. Whereas previously he demanded from actors to primarily accumulate feelings and then to act under the influence of these feelings, here reverse process emerges, from action to emotional experience. The action becomes not only the terminal moment, but also the starting moment of artistic creation. But there is a draft note put in 1911. Inseparable connection between physical feeling and psychic emotional experience is the law set by the nature itself. Then, if this reverse process could be possible, a wide range of possibilities to influence actively upon our will and psychic emotional experience would be unfold. We would have to do with the visible and tangible matter of our body that responds to exercise perfectly, and not with our spirit that is elusive, intangible, and doesn't respond to direct influence. During his continuous work, Stanislavski was trying to find sort of a center that would affect the artistic process to the maximum degree and would be the easiest point to start with. Over the years, such centers were sequentially truth, affective or emotional memory, will or I want, and finally action. Important to mention that action, having been recognized as the center, does not deny truth, emotional memory, and will. They are still needed. Why has action been honored to become such center? As a spider, it sits in the center of its net and pulls or evokes in the most efficient way all the elements of actors' inner and external techniques and working on the role methods. How should one instill into students the need in this logic and consecution on the stage? We achieve this through physical actions. Why is it so? Why not psychological ones or other internal elements? Have you noticed it is harder for us to describe what we would feel rather than what we would do in the same given circumstances? Why is that so? Because physical action is easier to grab than psychological one. It is more approachable than elusive internal sensation. Because physical action is more convenient to fix. It is material, visible. Because physical action interconnects with all the other elements. Indeed, there is no physical action without volition, striving, and objectives, without their internal justification by emotions. There is no invention of imagination without any kind of mental action. In art, there must not be physical actions without belief in their geniusness, and therefore without sensation of a truth in them. All this confirm the close relation of physical action with the entirety of self-sensation's internal elements. In the physical actions area, we are more at home than in the realm of elusive feelings. We navigate ourselves much better there. We are more quick-witted, more confident than in the realm of subtle and ill-fixed internal elements. Maxim Gorky has a curious saying that can be applied to the method. The process of people's socio-cultural growth advances normally only when hands teach the head. Then the head, grown wiser, teaches the hands. And smart hands again, but already better, aid the brain's development. Stanislavski stated himself, the name method of physical actions was quite disadvantageous, as people might think that only physical actions are enough. He also called the method line of physical actions and life of human's body. I say physical conditionally, not to get into psychological weeds, but I confirm one more time that the unity of two key human attributes, physic and psychic, is always behind any action. The proper on-stage condition, self, is going to help actors to take actions needed along the play. Internal, psychological ones and external, physical ones. This way I divide them conditionally, for us to understand each other better on rehearsals. In fact, every physical action includes internal psychological action as the reason for external action. And every psychological internal action includes physical action that expresses its psychic nature. Unity of these two actions is the organic action on the stage. It is determined by the play's plot, its idea, nature of a character, circumstances given by the author. I do not ever for a moment reject the line of feeling, the emotional line in a role, in a performance. Intellectual actions, unwarmed by cordial feeling, emotional experience, will be cold and irrelevant. They won't inspire the audiences. The stage action is not about walking, moving, gesturing on the stage, and so on. The point is not in hands, legs, or body movement, but in internal psychic movement and striving. So let's agree henceforth to understand once and for all under the word action not play acting, meaning acting representation. Not external but internal, not physical but mental action. It is created from the non-stop change of separate processes, periods, moments, etc. Every one of them in turn consists of rising volition, striving and impulses, or internal pushes towards action for the pursuing a goal. The stage action is a movement from soul to body, from center to periphery, from internal to external, from emotional experience to embodiment. The stage action is striving towards super-objective along the line of through action. So, why did Stanislavski use the word physical? One of the reasons was that the method emerged from training exercises. Inaccuracy of the name itself was as a result of Stanislavski having started the actors' working on a role technique development in the process of pedagogic sessions and exercises. Another reason was that it was hard for actors to start taking actions when they were asked to, and eventually the easiest way to start was performing specifically physical actions. I don't say it's easy to start taking action immediately, considering all the given circumstances, idea, the play's plot, nature of a character. Certainly, it's hard to grasp all of it at once. That's why I suggest to begin with searching for the character's line of physical actions first, and these actions will pull the whole compound complex of the artistic image's psychic life. Of course, it doesn't mean I separate the line of physical actions from the psychic ones in a human or actor's creative work. Quite the opposite. I want to reach the utmost unity of the action's psychophysical nature in the behavior of a person-actor. Organic action consists of 4 general action types. We divide action conditionally to find out what goes wrong during rehearsals or performance, with the purpose of analysis. These types are physical, psychological, mental, and speech actions. Stanislavski often denoted actions as psychophysical ones. Mental action is about taking decisions and actions in mind, internal monologue and dialogue, listening to partners, band of sight images. You see out of our 2 sessions that I have no intentions at all to limit actors or psychophysical actions only. Vasiliy Ivanovich was taking mental and speech actions the whole time in his episode. In the first instance, the strife on the stage might and should be expressed in actions. This notion contains the whole compound complex of human nature, actions of all types, external and internal, and physical and psychic ones. Their unity and intermixture produce organic action, beget the transfiguration into artistic image. All of these actors have to master. It is same not easy and simple as it was not easy and simple for you to master the system's elements, but you did that. So move further on. Using all the system's elements, act on the stage. Explore the play and your place in it via action. Which actions I take in the play, in this particular event episode. I do not for a moment separate mental actions from psychophysical ones. All of them compile single compound complex. The one and the other are the inherent part of integrated organic action that brings actors to the transfiguration into artistic image. Organic action that incorporates all the elements of a person-actor's psychophysical nature, all the elements of the stage action. Here is the path to acting skills and art of directing pinnacle, without any percentage distribution. Warning: action is not the goal in and of itself. The goal is to reach true emotional experience during acting, to create an artistic image. Action is just a tool or a method. The secret of these techniques is clear. As such, it is not the matter of physical actions by themselves, but of that truth and belief which these actions help to evoke and feel within us. Is the whole thing about setting, in a formalistic way, the logic and consecution of big actions' compound parts? These are not what I need. I need genuine truth of emotions and creative artists' sincere belief in it. Without such truth and belief, everything that is happening on the stage, all the logical and consecutive physical actions, become conditional. That leads to a lie, which is impossible to believe in. The most dangerous thing can happen for the method, for the whole system, for its psychotechnics, ultimately for the whole art, is a formalistic approach towards our complex creative work, its narrow-minded and trivial understanding. Learning how to divide big physical actions into their component parts, to set the logic and consecution between these parts pro forma, to make up some suitable exercises for it, to perform them along with students, not minding the most important thing, which is going through with the physical action still genuine truth and belief, no hard matter, and profitable too. What a lure for the system's exploiters. In order not to intimidate feelings, we are going to call this line the scheme of physical objectives and actions, and whilst acting, relate to it as such. But beforehand, once and for all, let's agree that the hidden essence, surely, is not in the physical objective, but in the most subtle psychology consisting of subconscious sensation by 9/10. We need the truth of physical actions and belief in them, not for realism or naturalism, but for inciting in ourselves the roles psychic emotional experience naturally and reflexively, to avoid intimidation and forcing of our feeling, to preserve its virginity, spontaneity, and purity, to render on the stage the live, human, psychic essence of a character. People who don't understand the meaning of the line of human body's life laugh when they are told that a sequence of simplest actual physical actions is able to produce a push for initiation and creation of the human soul's lofty life in a role. These people are confused by the methods being naturalistic. However, if we derive this word from nature, then it doesn't have anything discreditable. Besides, as I have mentioned, it is not the matter of actual little actions by themselves, but in the whole range of our creative organism's qualities that reveal itself owing to the push created by physical actions. You know that the essence is not in physical action, but in those conditions, given circumstances, feelings that arouse it. The important thing isn't the one that a tragedy's protagonist kills himself. The inner reason of his death is of real importance. If there is no such, or it is not interesting, then the death by itself won't make an impression. There is inseparable connection between stage action and a reason that gave birth to it. Or in other words, there is utmost unity between life of human's body and life of human soul. This, as you know, we use for our psychotechnics. Same thing we do now. Second warning. Action is not the ultimate phase that instantly leads to emotional experience. It's just the first step, sort of a push. The simplified misconception of the method results, disappointing its followers, in the ruinous cliché of simplicity. Because physical action, be the most logic, consecutive, and beneficial one, is only able to clear the road towards emotions, to open all the necessary semaphores on neural pathways, to switch all the needed contacts, and to prepare the nervous system for the dilemma, either in this very moment to fix the mechanical reflex being formed, or to generate a new live act. Yet this is not the verity of passions, but solely close approach to it, a reflexively formed act. A couple of such acts and you can welcome a live emotion. Then continuity of a logically emerging action, rammed by rehearsals, will provide the emotion possibility to extend on and to reveal the verity of passions. Those who canonized exteriority of the method of physical actions only, and are convinced it is enough to perform, after William James, not Stanislavski, consecutive physical actions, eliminating sight and thoughts from this notion, when verity of passions will undoubtedly arise by itself that very moment. Actions serve a dual function. Function number one is that action leads to the emotional experience as of the shortest way, and function number two, it helps to embody the existing emotional experience instinctively, so-called transparency, when body reveals inner impulses as they are, without distortion. Hence, the existing emotional experience does not require the detailed physical actions working out. Now I started to look differently at the tiresome study, and it inspired my vivid emotional response. One can't but recognize Toporkov's technique being remarkable. However, it seemed to me that its success was based upon magical if impact and given circumstances. They have made the shift in me, and by no means physical and imaginary action creation have. So, would not it be easier to start with them right away? Why should we waste time on physical actions? I told Arkady Nikolaevich about that. Sure thing, he agreed. This is what I suggested to start with back then, several months ago, when you played this study for the first time. It was hard for me to heighten my imagination then. It was napping, I recalled. Every action has a goal. It's productive and purposeful. In that case, swaying a leg, being relaxed, is not an action, but just movement. When Lady Macbeth wipes the bloody dagger off, it's an action. I've seen some actors, while performing To Be or Not to Be Hamlet's monologue, polishing a dagger or playing with their costumes. It is not an action. Action changes something in people or external environment. Physical actions put into important given circumstances acquire great force. Under these conditions, the interaction between body and soul, action and feeling is created, owing to which the external helps the internal and the internal evokes the external. Wiping the bloody stain off helps to fulfill the ambitious plans of Lady Macbeth, and ambitious plans make her wipe the bloody stain off. Another thing is when a productive and purposeful action is replaced by a convenient action, performed for the sake of actresses feeling cozy on stage, not minding logic, productivity, and the characters through action. You've seen that plenty: smoking, brushing hair, etc. I remember perfectly the previous layout of Sophia and Lisa episode. It was constructed as the one using physical adjustments, fastening shoelaces, relaxing on a couch, setting hair. Actresses felt themselves comfortably on the stage. They have been doing something for their own comfort, and not taking actions according to the plot, to the place through action, to mask the secret date. That's the huge difference. And some final words to conclude the episode. After all, actors like the exact, given by a director, physical actions most. I warn you, quite typically, directors having got organic action out from actors on rehearsals immediately cease to rehearse and exclaim with satisfaction, "There you go, now it's perfect. The very thing we needed. We rehearse this episode no more." A blunder. The organic action being found needs to be fixed on the heels of it, to engrave profoundly in actors' effective memory. Somebody did a vulgar expression in the house. I overheard it. Once again, Stanislavski began to urge on the actors. Do I indeed, out of my own whims, make actors to repeat 5 or 6 times the one having been found, sometimes planting new details for action to fix it in actors' consciousness, always as freshly found? Obviously, not out of whims, but knowing the actors' nature, their effective memory being imperfect and untrained. And if I often say, go through this episode technically one more time, it's just a dodge, pedagogic, directorial, call it as you like. Let it even be my deliberate artistic provocation. I am aware of the fact that every moment's technology in gifted artists' creative work is inseparable from essence, meaning, and artistic image's emotional intenseness. The method of physical actions is the method following which actors gain belief, reach the realm of true feelings, deep emotions, and come to the stage image creation taking the shortcut. At the same time, it is the method that helps to preserve and develop the once created stage images' further existence. The truth lies in actors possessing the intermixture of action and true human feelings in an artistic image given by the author.